going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today, like I always said, I'm about to show you a very simple, easy haircuts that I do on my daily basis behind the chair. So today I'm gonna do a round shape on the top, square shape on the sides. The hair will be sitting natural in his bone structure. I'm gonna add some texture. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna just trim on the top, and the sides, like I say, a square shape with a graduation. And I'm gonna do a low fade. Now, since it's very trendy, I'm gonna do a low V shape. Low V shape is very easy to do it. I will show you step by step, but sometimes you guys feel like that is very hard to do it because you don't have much space to work with all your guards. But just make sure before we start this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment below, let me know what you want to see next. So that is being said, I'm about to start this hair. How I start my haircuts? First of all, I start sectioning the top and separating the top from the sides. Why? Why is that? It's just because I want to work clean, I want to work organized, and I don't want all this hair from the top dropping on top of my when I'm working with clippers on the sides. So sectioning on the top just help you work more organized. Okay, very round here. What I'm gonna do, I'm going to minimize that and make sure that I'm cutting nice and with a diagonal forward, doing a little bit of graduation. In the back, I will take a flat layers, which is gonna give me square shape. I'm gonna start from the back so you guys can see, okay? I'm starting to take my first section in vertical. Let me turn a little bit so you guys can see it. That's my first section. I'm going to choose my length. If my fingers are very straight, I'm doing a graduation. I'm doing a flat layers, which is going to be a square shape. But if I elevate the hair and follow the head shape, I will do a round shape. But the thing is here, I want to make sure his head look very square and masculine look. So here, my finger, my knuckles touches the hair, and my fingers comes out, and I'm taking my first section, which this one will be my traveling guide. So now I have my length, and also I have my guide for the next section. So I can come from here, put both together. So those different, if you move the section in different direction, you are changing the shape, you are changing the length. So the idea here is, since I'm constantly in square shape and I want to be consistent with my length, I'm gonna take my first section to the center, and I'm going to meet the section that I just separated and meet both on the center. That way I be consistent in length, okay? So now I take another one. So my guide is traveling from the center all the way to the corner. Easier. So what I suggest to you is take a mannequin or model while you are watching this video. But before you do that, write it down, get a pen and a piece of paper, write it down everything so you won't forget. You will absorb everything you need to know before you put into practice. You do make sure the hair is always damp because you're sectioning with more precision. So just make sure here there's nothing. From here I'm taking diagonal forward sections. If you look at it, the tip of my fingers now is parallel to the head, but my knuckles is far away because now I'm creating a little bit of graduation here, shorter to longer. So this is my first diagonal forward. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring the second section and meet both on the center again to be consistent in length. New one with the previous one. Just make sure your guide, your sections are thin enough so you can always, you don't lose, you don't get lost with your guide. Okay. When the hair will be projecting style forward, guys, what's gonna happen? I need to do diagonal forward so you guys can see. Diagonal forward means that the hair will lay naturally on his bone structure. Biggest reason is because when you're creating a graduation, fade is a graduation, taper fade is a graduation. If I put my fingers in horizontal 0 degrees here, I will create a massive of volume and weight, and it's going to be harder to blend in. But if you want that weight, that massive amount of weight, okay, you use your fingers in horizontal. But if you want to use graduation, it just fits in with the fades. So now my transition is going to be very smooth. So every time you dry the hair, what you do, you dry on its the position that the hair is going to be styled. I can work very free because the hair on the top is away from where I'm going to be working, and I already put my base, which was the diagonal forward. I have my base here. Now I can choose in how high I can go with my clipper work, and I'm about to say that most of the time I use number 2 most of the time to start debulking on my daily basis, actually, to debulk, and then I start fading. So since he wants a V shape, I'm not gonna go too high. As you can see, the hair flows very soft. There's no heaviness, so this is gonna fit and match my fade. First thing I do, I debulk first. Since I'm doing a low V-shape fade, low fade, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go too high. This distance, this is what I have to work with all my guards. So debulking with number 2. So in the back here, in the nape, what I do, I will cross all my guards. So I keep the V very pronounced. Now is to make sure, I always work with my senior because the senior is very heavy. I don't blend lines with my senior because it's too heavy. I work with my magic clip to blend because it's very light. But now I debulked and I'm going to mark my first graduation line very low here. But pay attention in the angle I'm going to use my blade, because I want the C cup, the outline here, very pronounced, okay, very dark. So if I use my blade in diagonal forward, I'm going to have more hair, and the outline here is going to be darker. If I do very in horizontal, parallel to the head, you're gonna keep cutting more that hair, and the hair is gonna be lighter. So if I do diagonal back, as you can see, you have a minimal space, and the hair is gonna be dark, but just a little on the edge here. Okay, so I'm going to do diagonal forward. I'm marking my first graduation line, and the same thing, the line will come following the line above. So guys, again on the other side, the same angle. This is my first graduation line. And you're always going to meet the tip of the triangle in his nape in the center of the head, okay? And then I debulk whatever the remaining hair we have here. And my trimmers, and then my shaver. But the idea here, I don't overlap my zero, because I will end up creating another line. And the same thing goes for the shaver. I can't overlap my trimmers. Each blade just kiss the previous blade, the blade that I used before. Remember, our shavers, we don't put too much tension, very light, just touching the skin and rubbing a little by little, and then everything comes off. My second graduation line will be very, very closed, like a finger width around my first graduation line. So that's the gap, that's the spot, that's the amount of space I have to work with my guards. As you can see, I'm not going to break the V, because if I come with my clipper straight, I'm going to break that V shape, which is the one that I don't want to do it. I don't want to, which is what I don't want to do, is break that V shape, the tip of the triangle here. So I'm crossing all the blades. So now I have my second graduation line, which I did with a half close. To be able to blend this line, I start with my zero open, and slowly using my lever and closing down my lever all the way to zero, because my first graduation line was zero. Very, very easy, guys. Soon I will record another video showing you guys in how you do all this the other way that I work with, in fading V-shaped low fades, descending all the guards without creating any more graduation lines. Move that line with a half open, always. my half open, halfway close and close to keep blending that line. As you can see, the movement that I use in my hands is like a C motion. As you can see, I'm rubbing, keep rubbing until that line disappears. Making sure all the line is gone. You don't have to put too much tension on the skin. Every time you cut, right after you clean. Every time you cut, right after you clean. That line that you can see, the angle of my finger, my clipper goes against the grain, against the hair growth. Make sure, because the hair was growing in a different direction, I go against the grain to make sure the hair is going to come out good. Now I have no more graduation line to create, so I'm going to come downwards with all my guards, the bigger guards, with the tool. You know, since I use the tool to debulk, I'm going to use 1.5 all the way open, 1.5 halfway close, and 1.5 close. And the movement, as you can see, I'm using like a C motion with my hands so I don't cut or I don't even mess up the line above. Always holding the head so the client don't move. Halfway closed. Keep rubbing till the lines start disappearing. Smooth. Now I'm going to use my number 1, and I'll always start with my guards open all the way up to 1.5 open, scooping out, rubbing. The reason why I start with my 1 open, all my guards open, because I don't want, as you can see, I'm using very in slow motion so you can see the movement of my hands. The reason why I using all my guard, I start with my guards open, is because I don't want to create another line. So that's very, you make sure you're not going to create another line. You feel secure. I turn so you can see better. The movement is the same with your hands. Now I'm back with my half open. Look at the movement of my hands. I use the corner of the edge of my guard. I'm using half open and then halfway close, and then close all the way down to make sure that line is over, is not there. Rubbing across the guards in the nape. Most barber ask me, actually lots of barber ask me why I use shears to blend that line instead using clippers. It's just because if you use clippers, you're gonna push that weight higher, and then I want to do that because I have, with my shears, I have more control in how much I'm cutting, control of the weight. So in that spot, in that area, all I want is strength and weight. I want to maintain that that weight in that area. So that's why I use shears. I have more control over. As you can see now, I'm using the point cutting technique, just making sure the connection, the transition between all the clippers, all the guards that I use with the long, dark part of the head. I want that transition nice and smooth. That's why I'm using point cutting technique. And some sauce to this haircut. Very easy to do it. Flip over comb, just refine and define the details. Also here, I'm adding some texture, but since the hair over there, that low, it's very short, I'm using the comb to lift up the hair and use a point cutting technique to add some texture. So if you don't have enough grip, enough length with the hair, you grab with the comb, lift her up, and point cut like that. The transition will be much softer. Now I'm using my blending shears just to make sure that dark transition will disappear completely. Always using my blending shear with cautious. You have to know how to control your shears. You have to know how to control those blending shears because it's very dangerous to use. I'm just smoothing it out and making that area very soft with less contrast. Now I'm finishing up the details here. As you can see, I'm using my trimmers to edge him up, making sure finish the details well. What I'm doing, I'm creating a line with a very curved outline on a hairline over there. Pushes up, make sure it's clean. Now I'm about to cut the top. What I'm going to do, I'm removing my clips, making the hair damp, so my sectioning will be more precise. Make the hair very wet. After that, you're going to see my sections are very precise. I'm going to start doing a profile guide on the center of the head, forward. A finger width profile. Profile means that that's the length chosen by me with the clients. So that's the length. I'm gonna cut the whole top of the head, right in the center. Now I grab a little bit of the crown area. That's the length that I'm gonna follow. And since the shape that I'm creating is round, I elevate the hair following the head shape. Grab the hair with tension, finger flat. Just look under your finger where the hair is coming from. The hair needs to come from straight from its natural direction, and your fingers need to follow. Your fingers angle position needs to follow. Last thing I'm going to do is the fringe. As you can see now, if my comb are straight flat, is creating a square. If it's longer in the front and short in the back, I'm creating a triangle. But if I follow the head shape as I show you now, I just need to pull the hair from its natural direction, natural growth. So since now I found my length, cutting my profile guide, I groom my profile guide to one side of the head, and I'm matching my profile guide with the whole top. But if you look at with attention, pay attention, the head direction is coming following. It's not a square shape, it's coming following the head shape. Look at the root of the hair, where it's coming from. If I move straight up, I'm cutting a square shape, but look, now I'm moving back to its natural shape. Look, yes, there. Always making sure you do the same thing on both sides. So I finish my right side. Now I'm about to do my left hand side. Same thing, section from the side, go behind, lift the hair up, look in the root where the hair is coming from, and cut it. Very easy. Take small section just to make sure the hair will be cut precisely, the same angle, same elevation from the other side. Now is the fringe. I'm gonna just take a little bit off the fringe. As you can see, I'm gonna pull it down straight and cut it. Next, I'm going to lift a little bit in elevation just to make sure that fringe will be not too heavy. On the corners, I round off and I connect the fringe with the sides, rounding off the corners. And you do exactly the same thing on the other side. Don't forget it. Don't forget that. Since I finished cutting the top, all the length that I needed, now I'm about to connect this hair in diagonal forward. Remember, my base around the head before I start doing my fade was diagonal forward. Now connecting with the same diagonal forward because the hair on top is much longer than the side. So now I want to make a beautiful connection here. But at the end, after this section, I'm going to start redirect the fringe. Yes, over direct the fringe and open up the tip of my finger so the fringe will be longer. Now I'm slicing his hair up a little bit just because I want to add some salt to this haircut. I just want to make sure the hair will create more movement, will be fuller. As you can see, I'm slicing the hair. If you notice, I always apply a bit of product while the hair is damp. I cocktail product prior while the hair is damp because I want to dry that product into the hair first, all over, spread well. Just a bit of sea salt, make sure the hair dries natural in place. I'm squeezing the hair just to make more curl and more volume. I'm always using the hair dry and I start from the crown because the crown always grow in the clockwise direction, and I like to stick my finger right on the cowlick and blow around my finger, and the hair will sit naturally coming from its natural direction. Much easier. I'm using a vent brush now. I'm creating a little bit corner and volume there on a corner, pushing the hair forward. That's the direction the hair is going to be styled. As you can see, I'm creating volume over there, pushing the hair backwards and drying. I love to use diffuser because diffuser maintain my shape, create some volume and give longevity to this style. As you can see, I'm lifting the hair up, I'm squeezing the hair, but my diffuser is always on top of my hand. Make sure the hair, the heat hits the hair and dry the hair in a position that I want. The sea salt will help dry the hair in place naturally and give it more longevity, and it dries a little bit faster than usual. Little bit of styling powder to add some texture. Now I'm mixing my fingers, pulling the hair up, using my creativity, squeezing the hair. As you can see, I'm looking for proportion. I want to lift that fringe up, giving as much volume as I can, using my fingers to push it through, push back. Now, as you can see, I'm giving a final detail, guys. It's almost done. There it is, the final result. As you can see, guys, low drop fade V shape, very easy to do it. If you guys like this video, please comment below, let me know what you want to see next. Subscribe, that way you won't miss any class in this channel. I'm here to help you, I'm here to grow with you guys, brothers and sisters from the beauty industry. And I hope you guys like. Let me know what you want to see next here on the comments. Every week, new class, new video on my channel. Thank you guys very much.